on virtual. And then we also do the recording and live stream. So a lot of people benefit with after the session as well.
Okay, I
Yeah.
see. Nice.
Yeah, it's just like the selection. During the selection, we have seen very few people join. Like last session also, we barely had 11, 12 people because I think there are a lot of Swadhyay sessions scheduled throughout. So
Yeah.
that's why it's a little less. But really, like during Paryushan, almost every day we had like 40 to 50 people and they stayed till 10. It was very interactive. So yeah, it was pretty good. But during the selection, it has been a very low turnaround. So yeah,
कोई बात नहीं.
thank you.
I had a question before we start. Uh, during Das Lakshan, are there any kind of tapasya that you would recommend for young Jains to take, especially who are working and have a little difficulty in following the rules?
Yes, I think we all can become a part of 14 niyam. 14 niyam, yani we have 14 type of rules or the boundaries that we can create for our own self. For each individual, for each professional that is different, you're just protecting yourself from everything that is outside the world. Like, you're just protecting yourself. How much of number of clothes do you wear, how much number of the things that you use. So for that, everything you have a boundary, and that is being divided into 14 parts. So in such a busy schedule also, in the morning, if you just start with that 14 niyam, you can just you can just see that you have created some boundaries. त्याग का मतलब क्या होता है? 10 लक्षण का मतलब ही क्या है? 10 लक्षण का मतलब है वो हमें पल पल 10 वर्च्यूज के प्रति जागरूक करा रहा है. तो एज वी आर बीइंग अवेयर ऑफ द 10 वर्च्यूज, देन वी हैव टू equalize each day that we are following, and we are building that boundaries around ourselves. सो आई थिंक 14 जो हमारे नियम हैं वो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है एज अ यंग प्रोफेशनल, जो हमें वी कैन स्टार्ट आर जर्नी विथ एज अ जैन प्रोफेशनल. So I would recommend this, and I would pass this to Rupali ji. We even have some of the slides related to that, and if you want, anytime we can have a Zoom call and we can give us explanation about that, so that you can be clear. And every day, like I remember in my in my childhood days, I used to just
Stick it over the
yeah,
wall. Yeah.
I used to stick it over my cupboard, and whenever I used to get ready, I used to take that into my consideration and then leave my home. So that was the easy form. We can just remember the things, और त्याग भी जो है वो अपने आप हो जाता है. तो that's a way, in this busy schedule also we can plan out कि हम कैसे त्याग के पास रह सकते हैं.
That hardly takes 10 minutes,
Yeah.
just
Not even 10, I think. Not even 10.
yes, not
Yeah.
even 10.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you very much. Yeah. Rupali, pass it to you if you like to do the introduction, or up to you.
I think we can get started. I think it's 9:07.
Okay. Sure.
So yeah, Samini ji, we can get started with our discussions and your presentation.
Okay. Fold your hands, close your eyes. We can start this session with a small prayer that is Navkara mantra. Om Ring Namo Arhantanam. Om Ring Namo Siddhanam. Om Ring Namo Ayariyanam. लोये सव साहूणं ऐसो पंचड़मुकारो सव पावपणासनो मंगलाणं च सवेसिं परमं हवै मंगलम् परमं हवै मंगलम्.
Good evening, everyone. It's our honor to be the part of this pious Parv, Das Lakshana Parv. So we have come here with, I know this topic is little curious. You all are curious to learn about this topic. I hope we can satiate your hunger. And so let's get started. I would request Vandami to start this topic. You versus you.
So our topic, you versus you. When we think of battles in our life, we usually think that it is I versus the world, you versus the world. Competing with others, winning arguments, chasing positions, striving to be one step ahead of everyone around us. But we all should know the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that the greatest battle you will ever fight is not outside. It is inside. It is you versus you. It is the battle between the part of you that wants to grow and the part that wants to stay comfortable. Between the self that knows the truth and the self that hides behind the excuses. Between the voice that whispers courage and the voice that shouts fear. So Lord Mahavir has said, Appa mittama mittam cha. The soul is its own friend and the soul is its own enemy. No one else can truly defeat you and no one else can truly liberate you. The choice is always within your own hands. And this is exactly the meaning of Das Lakshana Parv, the festival of 10 noble virtues. Each virtue is not a contest with the world, but the gentle victory over yourself. I would like to grab your attention. Imagine when anger rises and you choose forgiveness. That is you versus you. When greed tempts, you choose contentment. That is you versus you. When pride knocks and you choose humility, that is you versus you. When restlessness comes and you choose peace, that is you versus you. The world may call you successful when you win outside battles, but Jain Dharam calls you truly victorious or Mahavir or a Veer only when you win the battle inner side. Just think about it. Isn't this battle we face every day? I think at every step, actually. The step or the decision, you speak the truth when a lie feels easier. We always take a decision that we should speak the truth. But when we feel what is easier, the lies is easier. The choice to remain calm when anger would be quicker. The courage to take responsibility instead of blaming someone else. These are not small choices. They are daily victories of you versus you. In this, when you gaze the world, success is often measured in salaries, maybe in promotions, in your image, in your recognition. But just ask yourself, what is the use of climbing the tallest ladder if it is leaning against the wrong wall? True success begins not when you conquer others, but when you conquer yourself. Every generation faces its own wars. Our ancestors faced wars of survival. Our parents faced wars of stability. Our generation faces very subtle war, the war of distraction, the war of stress, the war of constant comparison. It is not fought on battlefields, but many times where it is fought in boardrooms, it is fought in relationships, it is fought many times with our own self in late night overthinking, in the silent struggle between what I should do and what I actually do. That is why you versus you is the most relevant battle of young professionals today. And today, in front of you all, we would like to share how this topic, you versus you, connects with our daily struggles as professionals, as seekers, as young Jains. Because no matter what your field, your background, your goals might be, the path of success outside always begins with victory inside. So let us know more deeply about it. What are the points that we can include to become better you versus you?
So here we begin this journey of you versus you. So the point number 1, coming out of the comfort zone. The first battlefield of you versus you is comfort. Every one of us loves comfort. The comfort of routine, the comfort of security, the comfort of doing just enough. Comfort feels safe. It feels familiar. But here is the hard truth. The soul does not grow in comfort. It grows only in courage. The popular example, you all know it. A seed lying in the soil may feel safe and warm, but unless it dares to break its shell, it will never see the sunlight. The shell is not its protection. Actually, it is its prison. In the same way, we create shells for ourselves. Safe jobs, safe habits, safe excuses. And we say, what? At least I'm secure. But actually, that is not security. That is a silent prison. Again, I repeat, that is a silent prison. This is where Jain Dharam gives us the lesson of Uttam Tap, austerity. Tap is not only fasting from food, it is fasting from comfort. It is choosing discipline overindulgence. It is saying, yes, I feel like sleeping more, but I will wake up for sadhana. Yes, I feel like gossiping, but no, I will choose silence. So basically, tap is the courage to step out of the easy and walk into the real. And equally important is Uttam Utsaham. Of course, that term is new to all of you. Uttam Utsaha, but Uttam Tap cannot be attained unless and until we have Uttam Utsaha within us. Uttam Utsaha means enthusiasm, means energy. Because stepping out of the comfort zone is not just about sacrifice, it's about passion. You know, a dry sacrifice burns out very quickly. But when sacrifice is fueled by enthusiasm, it becomes a joy. Let us take example of Bhagavan Mahavir. He left a royal palace not because he hated comfort, no, but because he loved truth more. His enthusiasm for truth was greater than his attachment to luxury. Now, let me ask you, how many dreams die in the comfort zone? How many ideas never see daylight because someone said it's too risky? How many talents stay hidden because someone whispered, I'm fine where I am? The comfort zone is not a home, it's a waiting room where dreams are quietly buried. And you know what? The, the saddest part, the longer we sit in it, the harder it becomes to leave. Like, look at Jain history. Rishabdev gave up kingship to become the first Tirthankar. Chandan Bala she endured slavery yet chose compassion when tested. They could have chosen comfort, but they chose courage. And because of that, their names live on for eternity. So the principle is timeless for timeless. Like every great leap requires stepping beyond comfort. For us young Jain professionals, leaving the comfort zone may not mean living a palace or a kingdom, of course. It might mean something as simple as daring to speak up in a meeting when silence feels safer. Like it might mean starting a new venture instead of saying instead of staying in a secure but unfulfilling job. It might mean saying no to the habits that hold us back, like procrastination, distraction, comparison. It might mean saying yes to meditation, to service, to self mastery. So remember, the courage does not mean absence of fear. Courage means moving forward even when fear is present. If you wait until you feel no fear, you will wait your whole life. But the moment you act in courage, you discover the fear was smaller than you imagined. And you were stronger, of course, you were stronger than you believed. So here the first battle is not you versus the world, it is the comfort you versus the courage you. You know what? The comfort you whispers, stay here, it's cozy. And the courage you says, no, move ahead, it's growth. And every time when you choose courage over comfort, you win a small battle of you versus you. And those small victories, they add up to a list of freedom, progress, and true inner strength. So at the end, of course, the growth begins at the end of comfort zone. So choose growth over comfort. But don't stop here because more to go.
I hope you all are sitting with, something that you can write, because we have some points that we are sharing with you, and I think they are the important things that you should note down. So, as you know, that, coming out of comfort zone is the important thing. What is the second thing that we do wrong when we are fighting with our own selves? What is that? That is, we should not stick to the older personality. The second battlefield of you versus you is identity. You see, change is never as hard as holding on to an idea of who you used to be. Most people don't fall because change is impossible. They fall because their old personality refuses to die. I think the older personality is like an outdated software. It resists every new update. It whispers, "This is how I have always been." Imagine how many times you have told this to your own self, okay? You have to just think. This is how I have always been. I cannot change. I have always been short tempered. It's just my nature. I've always been weak in willpower. It's just who I am. These are the excuses that we give to our own self in a ray of protection, because we are just stick to our old personality. But Jain Dharma teaches something radically different. You are not your habits. You are not your past. You are soul. You are Atma. You are eternal. You are pure. You are powerful. You are capable of infinite transformations. Many times, karma may cling, but it does not define you. The soul is greater than any pattern which we are going through. Why we always think that, we have to always stick to the old personality and then move forward? Let us understand this by a practical example, okay? Imagine that there are two people who have decided to quit smoking. A cigarette is offered to both. The first says, "I'm trying to quit." The second says, "I am a non-smoker." Both want the same goal, but their identities are different. The first says, "I am trying to quit." The first is still tied to the old self. "I am a non-smoker." What is the first one telling? That I am a smoker, but I'm struggling. What the second one is telling? That I have already stepped into the new self. I am free from it. This identity shifts, makes all the difference. And the same principle applies everywhere in our life. Imagine whenever there is a, whenever that comes to punctuality, old you says, "I'm trying not to be late anymore." New you says, "I am punctual person people can rely on." Imagine so many situations. Imagine when you are in anger. This is a common problem with everyone around us. When we are in anger, old you says, "I'm trying to control my temper." New you says, "I am a calm person. Anger does not control me." Imagine so many situations. In America, we all are trying to live a healthy life. When it comes to health, old you says, I am trying to cut down on junk food. New you says, I am a healthy eater. I am already a healthy eater. Imagine, you are trying means you are just connected to your own self, old self. And when you are, you have, I am, you are to that aspect, then you have already attained the half path. The most important aspect in Jainism is meditation. When it comes to meditation, old you says, I am trying to meditate regularly. New you says, I am a meditator. My day begins with sadhana because I am a professional sadhak. And when, because we have to focus so much into our work, and when it comes to focus, old you says, I'm trying to spend less time on my phone. New you says, I am a focused person. My time belongs to me. See the difference? Both versions want the same outcome. But the first is still fighting with the old personality, while the second has already stepped into the new one. So always remember, we have to leave the old to enter the new in our life. So just try yourself. When you are out of the comfort zone, then what? Then you need to leave your old self and enter to a new path of your life. What's the next one that we need to remember when we are just in a battlefield of you versus you? Let us know.
Thank you. So I hope you all are writing the important points. So point number 3. This is very important and personally my favorite. Don't wait for motivation. We need to build a system. The third battlefield of you versus you is between motivation, you versus system you. See, motivation is wonderful, no doubt. It feels like a spark. You listen to a great talk, watch an inspiring video, or attend a spiritual retreat, and suddenly you feel unstoppable. From tomorrow, I will change my life, I will do this, that. But here's the truth. Motivation is just an emotion, it's just an emotion. And all emotions are like roller coaster. For 5 days, motivation will take you on a high. And then suddenly for 10 days, it drops. And when it drops, your whole actions collapse. Imagine if your progress depends only on motivation, your life will keep swinging like a pendulum. Forward, backward. And in the end, you are standing in the same place. Take an example. Of course, many young professionals decide to wake up at 5 a.m. to exercise or meditate. The first few days, they feel amazing. Then comes one late night party, one busy week at office, one rainy morning, and suddenly the whole 5 a.m. club collapses. Why? Because it was built on motivation, not a system. Now compare this with a system. A system don't ask, do I feel like doing it today? A system simply says, this is who I am. This is what I need to do. Simple. No arguments with the brain. But if you rely on motivation, you'll meditate only when you are inspired. But if you rely on system, We'll meditate every day because it's 6 a.m. No negotiation, no arguments. If you rely on motivation, you will eat healthy only when you feel like being fit. But if you rely on system, you will eat healthy because you don't even keep junk food in your kitchen. This is your system, not keeping junk food in your kitchen. But if you rely on motivation, you will study only when exams are near. And if you really build a system, you'll study every day because learning is part of your life. If you rely on motivation, you'll save money when you are in mood. Otherwise, okay, fine, let's spend it. But if you rely on system, you'll save money every month because you are a disciplined investor. So motivation is emotional and system is structural. Motivation burns fat. Motivation will burn your fat, but system assures that, of course, maybe it will take long time, but it will last long and it will make you slim. But the worst part with motivation, that motivation burns very fast and system lasts long. Motivation is just like a spark and system is the lamp that keeps burning. Maybe little, but it will keep burning. This is where Jain Dharma gives us Uttam Tap. I've already mentioned about Tap before, but Tap relates in most of the places. Tap is not just fasting, Tap is the ability to regulate yourself with discipline, no matter how the mood swings. When the mind says, give up, Tap says, go on and on and on. When comfort whispers, Tap answers with courage. And it also connects with Uttam Dharma. Dharma means, in simple terms, if you understand the meaning of Dharma, it means duty. Because discipline is not about forcing yourself, it is about honoring your duty. Your duty to your health, your duty to your soul, your duty to your body, your duty to your family, your duty to your higher self. You just think of Bhagwan Mahavir's tapasya. Do you think he meditated in a forest for 12 years because he was motivated every day? No. Because he had a system of equanimity, he had a system of discipline. He had that structure, a system of discipline. He didn't wait for moods. He acted out of his responsibility, his dharma. That is why his resolve did not break in hunger, thirst, or insult. So, simply, in simple terms, motivation is like fireworks, bright, exciting, but short lived. And systems are like rising sun, steady, daily, but unstoppable. One dazzles for a moment, the other transforms the world. So the real you versus you here is excited you versus consistent you. The excited you makes grand promises but collapses in a week. The consistent you makes small systems but sustains them for life. Which one will you choose? Because motivation can make your dream, but only system will make you transform. So I hope you're with copy pen because some more has to go.
So I know there are many of the questions that we need to answer, but that we can answer at the end. So firstly, it's very important to grab the information, and after that I think we can answer all the questions that you have inside your minds. So please note down all the questions so that we can all relate to you. Okay, so as we came to know that it's very important not to just be as a fly of motivation, but to stick to a part as a system. So this was the third point that we took. What is the fourth point that we should keep in our mind? Is until we don't appreciate others' growth, there is no growth for our own selves. Appreciate others' growth. This battlefield of you versus you is about how you see someone else's success. We all are professionals. We all work. Everyone has to think honestly. Think when a colleague gets promoted before you, or when a friend just maybe buys a bigger car or bigger house, or when someone receives recognition you hoped for. What is the first inner reaction that you get? For many, it is not joy, it is jealousy. A small, sharp voice says, "Why not me? Don't I deserve it more?" That is all. We all are suffering with this problem of jealousy. This is jealous you. Jealous you does not allow you to celebrate. It poisons your peace. And worst of all, what does it do, you know? It paralyzes your own growth every time. You're not able to bring yourself a growth. Because whenever you are busy in comparing, thinking about competition, thinking about I have to grow, why he is growing, you are just busy in comparing. You have just forgotten to create your own new self. But there is another self inside you. What is that? Not the jealous you, not the jealous you, the joyful you. Joyful you looks at another's rise and says, "This is beautiful, I'm happy for them." Joyful you knows that life is not a competition with one trophy. Life is abundant. Another's light does not reduce my light. Their progress does not block my path. In fact, their success can become my inspiration. We have to always take this part ahead in our life. But what do we do in our real life? Many times at work, what do? When our colleagues gets promoted, jealous you says, "This is unfair." But joyful you says, "This shows what's impossible. If they could rise, I can also." Many times, as I told you, in societies, when we see that our friend is moving to a bigger house or taking a new car, jealous you says, "They are lucky." Joyful you says, "May they be happy, and may I learn from their hard work." Sometimes there is a comparison even in spirituality. If another devotee seems more disciplined in sadhana, jealous you says, "They are showing off." Many times we think, right? But joyful you says, "How inspiring. Let me learn from their consistency." When jealous you wins, peace leaves. But when joyful you wins, even others' success becomes fuel to our own growth. This is where Jain Dharma gives us two guiding virtues. One guiding virtue, we know about it, Uttam Mardhav, We all know we are a part of Das Lakshan Parv. So there is a term in that which is known as Uttam Mardhav, which means humility. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself. It is about thinking of yourself less. Again, I'll repeat this. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself. It is about thinking of yourself less. It allows you to see another's growth without feeling threatened. Humility whispers, their rise does not make me fall. Their victory is not my defeat. My soul has its own path, its own timing. And the second virtue that we have not heard about is Uttam Madhyasth, means equanimity. When humility is there, we can also develop the other virtue, that is equanimity. Samta. What does equanimity means? It means remaining balanced and neutral, without jealousy or hostility. When others rise, we don't feel small. When others fall, we don't secretly rejoice. We remain steady, grounded, and compassionate for others. I may just explain you this with a small story. Once a king asked his minister, why do I feel so uneasy when other, kingdom prospers, even though I know that my own kingdom is flourishing? Why do I feel that? The minister just took him to a lake. On its surface, there were many lotuses. So the minister told, look, Maharaj, he said, when one lotus blooms, does the other lotus feel like, oh, the other lotus is blooming so much? Do the others stop blooming? No, the lake becomes even more beautiful when all the other lotuses are just blooming. The king just understood. Appreciation multiplies beauty, while jealousy blinds us to it. Many a times, here we see people go for, they go for trekking. They even go in dense forests to just go and live there, life calmly. Imagine you all are in a forest, okay? And when you see that one tree is growing tall, does that tree who's just growing tall, or the one who is being small feels that, oh, see, this tree is growing so tall? How does that happen? It doesn't steal the sunlight from others. It breaks the force of the wind, protects the soil, and shelters the smaller ones. The tall trees also tries how much they can help the smaller ones. In the same way, when someone around you rises, they often create opportunities, networks, and courage for you to rise too. In the starting, I was just speaking to Apurva ji. They just told me that, one of the Samnijis, they were included in this young Jain professional. So they created an opportunity for us, and we are here today. So I think it's always if someone else is growing, they're creating opportunities for you. They're creating networks for you. They're creating that courage, that you can also be a part of this. Think of a lamp. Lighting one lamp from other never diminishes the first flame. Instead, the light only multiplies. That is how appreciation works. When you celebrate others, your own flame shines brighter. And here's the irony: the more you appreciate others, the more you attract appreciation from others. So I think a jealous heart sends out only bitterness and finds only bitterness in return.
think Ajay Paitu. Das Lakshan.
A joyful
Das
heart,
Lakshan Paitu. Ajay. No, I'm not.
but I think a joyful heart sends out celebration and finds celebrating in return. So the you versus you battle here is that jealous you versus joyful you. The jealous you keeps shrinking in comparison, but the joyful you keeps expanding in celebration. Which one do you want to nurture? You all have to think. Because in the end, you will not be remembered for how many people you defeated, but for how many people you just lifted, for how many people you encouraged, how much light you added to this world. A life of jealousy is like drinking poison every day, hoping someone else around you will suffer. A life of joy is like watering a garden every day. Everything around you flourishes, and so do you. And perhaps this is why Jain Dharma honors humility and equanimity as supreme virtues. Because the soul shines brighter not when it competes, but when it just celebrates. So I think we have to always be happy for others' growth. Then only we can also have a growth in our own self. So you need to decide as a young professional, what are you doing?
Wow.
As the last point of the day, point number 5. Capture one part of your day. Capture one part of your day. And in the battlefield of you versus you is about focus. Most of us don't lose peace because of one big crisis. We lose it because of small, invisible leaks in our day. 10 minutes scrolling here, 20 minutes gossiping there, half an hour wasted in mindless distraction, and by evening, we are exhausted. This is scattered you winning. But focused you makes a wiser choice. Focus you understands that while you may not control every single hour of your day, you can always capture at least one part, just at least one part of it with full awareness. And when you do that one part becomes an anchor for the entire day. You won't believe it. Like you can capture any part. Morning capture, for example. You decide the first hour of your day belongs to you. So instead of reaching for your phone, you reach for your purpose. Reading, prayer, or a mindful walk. That 1 hour sets the tone for the next upcoming 23 hours. If you want to capture evening, if you feel mornings are unpredictable, capture the last hour of your day. No matter how busy it was, you close it with gratitude, with reflection, or silence. That 1 hour clears the clutter and allows you to sleep peacefully. If you feel morning, evenings, both of them are unpredictable, capture midday. Even if mornings and evenings are tough, capture your lunch break. Instead of eating while answering emails, you eat slowly, mindfully, gratefully. That half hour nourishes your body and steadies your mind. So the rest of the day may belong to clients, deadlines, or other responsibilities, but at least one part of the day you can say, this is mine, this is yours. Just one visualization. You see, picture your life as a ship tossed by waves. As a ship tossed by waves. The waves are like deadlines, meetings, and demands. Without an anchor, you drift wherever the tide pulls you. But, but you just think, even one strong anchor can steady a massive ship. That one captured hour, your anchor holds you steady, no matter how rough the sea becomes. Let's make it a little personal. Like scattered you says, the whole day slipped away. I was busy but achieved nothing. The focused you says, even if the day was hectic, this 1 hour was truly mine. I lived it with awareness. Scattered you says, I'll do something meaningful when I have more time. Focused you says, I may not have the whole day, but I will claim this one part now. So, which voice do you want to listen to? And here's the beauty, when you capture one part of your day, it doesn't stay contained. Like perfumes that spreads from a single drop, that captured hour slowly influences the rest of your day. The calm of your morning actually shapes how you respond to emails. The stillness of your evenings will soften your conversations, of course. The mindfulness of your meal changes how you work afterwards. That one conscious hour plants seeds that grow into an entire forest of peace. So the battle is scattered you versus focused you. Scattered you lets the whole day slip away in fragments. And focused you anchors at least one part of the day. And from that anchor, peace spreads to the rest. And now here's my gentle challenge to you. What part of your day will you capture starting from tomorrow? Will it be your first hour in the morning, your last hour before sleep, or just 20 minutes in between? Choose it, protect it, make it yours. Because one captured part of your day is enough to change the story of your whole life. I hope this wasn't overwhelming for anyone, and if it had been, then we are really sorry. So now it's time to conclude.
Thank you very much, Samniji. This was very insightful. I took all the notes, and I know Rupali did that too in the chat box. So it was amazing. I'll pass it to Manan and Rupali for their feedback, and Priyank as well.
Sure, sure, sure. So I think, it is always like, it is always between comfort you versus courage you. It is always between scattered you versus focused you. It is always between old you versus new you. It is always between excited you versus consistent you. And it is always between jealous you versus joyful you. So we, as the winners of this battlefield, quietly, we have to just decide, what should our quality of life be? So success outside is good, but victory inside is great. A strong career is valuable, but a strong character is priceless. The world will measure you by wealth and titles, but Dharma measures you by peace, compassion, and truth. So I think we all need to understand the truth that is being given by Lord Mahavir, and be towards that path. That will be only our real victory.
Thank you so much,
We
Niji. It's a very,
we
very informative session, focused on the young gens. Thank you so much, because some sessions there are very technical things, and this one is like we can easily incorporate in our day-to-day practice. I can't commit for an hour, but I'll start with 15 minutes in my life. Yeah, I hope everyone else can do that. I don't know if Manan, you want to add something, or Apurv, you want to add. I know Priyank is not able to talk, so we can do it.
Yeah, like after Mananji and after anyone, if you have any of the questions, you can even ask
yeah, we
those.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Manan, go ahead with your feedback
Sure,
and
no, I don't have anything else to add. I just want to say thank you again, Shamniji. Feels like this came at the perfect time. I very much needed to hear it. So, it's very insightful and a lot of wisdom, a lot of takeaways.
Thank
Sure.
you.
there was a question in the chat box by Bijal. Uh, it's a very important, interesting topic you have chosen. We all know, if there is a conflict at work, right? And you feel insulted or ignored, how do you deal with that, and how do you remain your good self versus the other self?
Uh, Nowadays, what I personally feel that validation has become such a great issue that we need others' approval for our work. This is general. This is for everyone. This is for even us also. That validation has become a very important term today. So, the more we need validation from others, the less we will be able to judge ourselves or our work. जब से validation word उठा है ना, तब से we have forgotten the word self satisfaction. If you are actually self satisfied, the of course I'm just talking about the ideal ideal part. If we are self satisfied and our focus is just on our part, let world think whatever they want to, because the more we try to seek validation from others, and if they know that we are trying to seek validation from them, मतलब उन लोग अपना भाव खाएंगे, they will show their attitude. So we should stop seeking validation from others. If they think they can ignore us and that is their way of doing work, that is their way of doing work. Let's separate the task. My task is to do my job. My task is not to wait for their applause. My task is not that. That is their task. My task is not to think what they will think of my task. My task is just to do my job. So once we stop once we stop seeking for validation, maybe we can have that self satisfaction within us, and that self satisfaction can give us a great relief. And once others will feel that we are self satisfied, not only that person, the whole world will encourage you, will be inspired by you.
And for that validation, and for that self satisfaction also, because there's a validation you and self satisfaction you. So always keep that self satisfaction you in a comfortable place. That's very necessary, and it's not necessary for that you need to please someone. It is not at all necessary. When you have done your mark, when you have done your work to 101%, you not need any validation or any pleasing to any others. It's just your work is done purely with all the truths that is hidden inside you, that you respect a lot, that builds your system. That doesn't just motivates you, but that builds your system. So it is not even important to please others for that. The validation and pleasing are not important. It's just the self satisfaction.
Which makes total sense. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ami. Thank you, Apurva, for reading out the
You're,
question.
you're welcome. There is another one from Pooja. How does going out of the way to help others fit here? random act of kindness, trying to make someone's day? How much effort should one put in such actions versus just focusing on what's going on inside yourself?
I think one thing that we can all do for everybody. In I'm just telling around everybody that we can do that. We can have a muskanasana every time, with us, to just give them a relaxation, like, oh, it's okay, there's no that tough thing that you have inside your mind. You can just smile a bit, that's a reflection of your thing when you're just passing by somebody. That's the smallest thing that we can pass to everyone. That is muskanasana. It can help so much to others, and it can help even the professionals outside who are working so hard, and they think that, oh, what is the life is all about so much work, so much things that
Deadlines.
we need to acquire, so many deadlines, everything. But if you have that muskanasana, I think, many a times we feel like it's okay, whatever is there, I can do that. So, by muskan asana, I think, you can solve many problems in your life, around you and within you. So that can be a small practice that we can pass on to others as well, and to ourselves too.
And one more thing that I want to just add on with this, that you can't take everyone's responsibility to make them happy. This is the eternal truth, and this is like forever truth. Yeah, yes. So it's just like from your part, your side, your end, you should know you are supposed to do the work correctly or matlab ethically. Others is just their part. Again, that task separation, that is their task, to be happy or to be sad or to be joyful or to be jealous. That is their part. But from your part, you just need to be ethical, and you just need to be self-satisfied. You just need to be consistent. You just need to be good. So self-satisfaction here, again, that is the important part. But again, we can't take the responsibility of everyone to make them happy. So this statement should be very clear in everyone's mind.
Thank you so much. Rupali, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I think we are almost to the end of our session. And Samniji, if you have any sort of Vandana or Stan you want to say before we close our session, you can, this would be the right time.
Sure. So this is Mangal Path. आध्यात्मिक मंगल कामना करते हुए मंगल पाठ. You may fold your hands, close your eyes. चत्तारि मंगलम, अर्हंता मंगलम, सिद्धा मंगलम, साहू मंगलम, केवली पन्नतो धम्मो मंगलम. चत्तारि लोगुत्तमा, अर्हंता लोगुत्तमा, सिद्धा लोगुत्तमा, साहू लोगुत्तमा, केवली पन्नतो धम्मो लोगुत्तमो. चत्तारि शरणं पवज्जामि, अर्हन्ते शरणं पवज्जामि, सिद्धे शरणं पवज्जामि, साहू शरणं पवज्जामि, केवली पन्नत्तं धम्मं शरणं पवज्जामि. विघ्नहरण मंगलकरण स्वाम भिक्षुनो नाम, गुण ओळख समरण किया सरे अचिंत्या काम. आरोग्य बोहिलाभम समाहि वरमुत्तमं दिन्तु, आरोग्य बोहिलाभम समाहि वरमुत्तमं दिन्तु, आरोग्य बोहिलाभम समाहि वरमुत्तमं दिन्तु.
Thank you very much, Samnijis, for joining us today and enlightening us with very practical information. I'm going